All right, if you're like me, you own a Trek District, single speed, and you love it, but to allow a little flexibility in riding, you might be considering putting on something like a Shimano Alfine internal hub. That's what this video is about. I went ahead and made the conversion, and I'd love to show you what I did to make it work. So first off, here's a quick parts list. Parts list includes everything from the new Shimano 8-speed or 11-speed internal hub, then the shifter, then your new Gates rear sprocket, along with the clip that's required for that, and then new spokes and new nipples for the spokes. Of course, you can keep the front sprocket and the belt. Okay, so again, decided to go with the Shimano Alfine 8-speed internal hub. That seemed to be the most robust I could find through online research and talking to some bike shops. And this is the SGS 500, but the SGS 501 should be the same dimensions. First thing you'll need to do is order the CDC 24 tooth rear sprocket from Gates. This one you'll see recognize the shape, that's pretty distinct. And then you'll also have to have them send out the retaining clip. The one that comes with your Shimano Alfine hub will not work, and you have to have this extra thin one. Okay, so the first thing I did was to mount up the new sprocket on the Alfine hub, again with the new clip. This is the SGS 500. It's underlined, which just means it has the 3 internal roller bearings. So as you can see, it actually looks like it's tracking quite well. If you keep your eye on the kind of the left flange and the belt, the distance between the two, as you track, it stays the same, which is a good sign. I've got the belt tightened according to the specifications. I downloaded the iPhone app from Gates and it seemed to work quite well. Fortunately, I didn't have to make any adjustments to the right side drive arm, the sprocket, or the bottom bracket. If you did find that the alignment was off, there's a couple of things that you can do. Well, first of all, the issue is that the internal hub no longer has any adjustment, like you can't stick a spacer in there for the sprocket. And the thought that is that it might sit a little bit too far in, and since you can't make adjustments back here, you've got to make all your adjustments up on the sprocket. So if that happens, what you can do is you can pull the right side drive arm off, and then you can put it back on, and then screw it down, and tighten it and see if you can get it to reseat farther on than when it was on the first time. And they say that if you give it a good turn, you can pick up maybe 1 to 1.5 millimeters, which should help give you the lineup that you need without having to get into the bottom bracket, to make adjustments to bring it in. Okay, so I went ahead and laced up this wheel. This is my first time. I just used Sheldon Brown's wheel building site, and it took about an hour and a half. So if you look, the rim typically comes with the right-hand, left-hand drill hole alternating for the spoke and nipples. And the best I could tell on this bike, they looked like they were almost dead center down the middle of the wheel line. But my best guess, if you look at it and you can double check my near measurements, was that this second hole, so skip 1, this is the second hole again, is the first right-hand drill. So if you look at this, this is where you'd start your wheel building. You take this up, and then this first one runs to the inside of the hub flange, so the little, flat head part is sticking out on the outside. Again, it stops back right here. Okay, so I put about 50 miles on this back hub since I first laced it, and it's just awesome. I think everybody will really enjoy it. A couple things I learned: this rear tooth set up as a 24 tooth rear sprocket. The front sprocket being set up again with the original 55 tooth gives you the gearing so the fourth gear on your shifter would be equivalent to the single speed setup that the bike came with. So you've got 3 gears you can drop to get into lower gear, and you've got 4 gears, arguably, that you could go up into a higher gear for a little top end. Okay, so I didn't have a truing stand, so to true up my rear wheel, I just ended up using my brakes as guides. And again, Sheldon Brown mentioned you could do this on his website, which I really appreciated his heads up. So I just adjusted the brake all the way over on one side and then really, really watched to see where it hit and where it lined up. And I spent a little time just adjusting, and it seemed to work out just fine. So I've got the wheel right dead center, as true as can be. And like I said, 50 miles into it, and it's going awesome. All right, good luck. Again, just full disclosure, this was the first time I'd done any kind of wheel building, and it wasn't too overwhelming. It was actually a pretty easy gig once I found the resources I needed. So feel free to post any questions you have about the process down in the comments below, and I'll go ahead and respond to them here in the same message board. Hopefully we can kind of turn this into a little bit of a forum for anybody that's looking for some help on how to do this. Good luck. All the best.